have a substance use disorder, hundreds require daily medical care. 80% of women and gender-expansive people in jail are being treated for mental illness. And as you know, systemic racial inequities only deepen these harms. If we want a safer city, we must enact smart and sustainable policies that actually center support for our most vulnerable neighbors, and that centers rehabilitation. Realizing that if you think it's hot out here right now, can you imagine what it's like locked up in a cell with over 7,000 souls on Rikers Island? Good morning, I'm Councilmember Carlina Rivera. I represent Manhattan Communities. I had the honor and the privilege of chairing the Committee on Criminal Justice to learn from and to receive the guidance and really friendship of so many that are on these steps right now. I want to thank Speaker Adams. She has been a champion for criminal justice and public safety, and realizing that all of these things are intersectional and that we can fight for the incarcerated and those that are working on Rikers Island at the same time. It's very hard to believe in this idea of rehabilitation. That number, 7,000, is a result of the mayor's failure to prioritize what needs to be done to reduce the population as a public safety measure, along with delays in construction, which is going to prevent Rikers from closing in 2027, which is the legal mandate set forth by the council. That's unacceptable. A crucial part of closing these decrepit facilities is decarceration and ending our city's over-reliance on criminalization. We have to redirect funds to alternatives to incarceration, supervise release, reentry programs, and support housing. That is exactly
to invest in solutions that reduce mass incarceration, support community reintegration, and individualized stabilization. You see, we have much to celebrate in the FY26 budget, and we are so grateful to the City Council under the leadership of Speaker Adrienne Adams for holding the line and pushing for so many critical investments in what truly keeps all of us safe. And for pushing those investments, not only for this year, but for many years to come. You see, you've heard justice-involved supportive housing is about providing an opportunity for people to stabilize their lives.
Lives are on the line, and too many of our loved ones have already been lost because of a lack of urgency, mismanagement, and inaction. The city has a moral obligation to act urgently to confront the crisis by recognizing and addressing how our mental health crisis is connected to housing opportunity, safety, affordability, and to the many other struggles New Yorkers face every single day. We can begin to advance a vision of true justice and safety in our city. Elected officials and people impacted by Rikers, we have finally successfully secured over $50 million in additional mental health and public safety.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us. We are here today because for too long, the city continues to fail New Yorkers who are living with mental health challenges. Let that pass.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mental illness is not a crime, but our city's policies treat people who are struggling with their mental health as though they deserve to be incarcerated rather than treated in the community with the supports and care that they need. These investments, particularly the investments in ACT or certain community treatment and intensive mobile treatment teams, will help people actually get the mental health care, the housing, and the additional supports that they need to live safely in our communities. We know that these programs work. We have literally decades of evidence showing that these are the services that can decarcerate our city while improving public safety. It's just one example of one of our ACT teams that serves as an alternative to incarceration. Among people who enter the program on a felony conviction, 0 of them have a new felony conviction within the 2 years after they've completed the program. These investments are true public safety. This is how we support the health and well-being of our community and close Rikers. We're grateful to the City Council for their support, and we urge the Mayor to act quickly to get these dollars out so that we can do the good work that people need. Thank you.
Together, we fought for and finally won greater investments in justice-involved supportive housing, ACT and IMT teams, crisis respite centers, recidivism reduction programs, and other community-based services. These investments, which we have consistently championed, and were a part of the Independent Rikers Commission's updated blueprint to close Rikers, are critical to our goal of keeping our city safe.
They need. Too many people continue to be funneled into our city jails and trapped in a cycle of harm. More than half of those incarcerated in Rikers Island have a mental health diagnosis, and 1 in 5 live with serious conditions. Rikers is not a place for healing, and yet it has essentially been the city's largest mental health facility that has long been defined by crisis, violence, and neglect.
Deputy Speaker Ayala, so thank you and thank goodness for the City Council for their unwavering commitment to real community solutions and erasing the stain in our city that is Rikers Island. The deadly overcrowding at Rikers right now is not inevitable. It's the result of Mayor Adrienne Adams' failed policies on top of years of divestment from public health. And there's no question that failures at the state level are contributing to the problem. But the city wants us to believe there's nothing they can do, but this is false. They have a tool that can directly use right now to potentially release hundreds of people to effective, evidence-based community programs. The 6A program allows for early release of people serving city sentences of a year or less. In response to another crisis, COVID-19, it was used in March 2020 to release over 300 people in less than a month. The results showed how much more effective community programs are than Rikers.
Lead productive and safe lives. For years, the council has implored Mayor Adams' administration to invest in mental health and safety solutions that are proven to reduce recidivism. We've urged the administration to fulfill its responsibility to support the programs that help advance the closure of Rikers as required by law. Yet, year after year, the administration resisted and repeatedly fell short of delivering the kind of investments New Yorkers need.
It is my honor to introduce our leader of the City Council, Speaker Adrienne Adams.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker Ayala. And thank you all for being here. Good afternoon to everyone. I am New York City Council Speaker Adrienne Adams. As I always say, I do have the honor of leading our historic women majority City Council. We're joined here today, of course, by our Deputy Speaker Diana Ayala, Councilmember Carlina Rivera, Joseph, we're still all in Dem Conference inside. I also want to acknowledge, of course, our great advocates, service providers, and New Yorkers whose families have been impacted by Rikers Island and the city's jails. Thank you all for your hard work, your voice, and your commitment to keeping our city safe. Our city's failure to effectively address the mental health crisis and urgently advance the solutions necessary to close Rikers has allowed the city's jails to undermine public safety and to be the largest de facto mental health facility. This is a failure of